Today is a once-in-a-century day in the forest. Her name is Tara, the revered queen of the forest. She is the very source of its life. With a thought, she makes trees stretch toward the sky, and flowers burst into bloom. Today, Queen Tara will bestow her magic onto one special flower bud to ensure the forest's vitality lives on forever. Two adorable little snails are already buzzing with excitement. They handpick the biggest, most gorgeous bud for her, but the queen doesn't approve. Instead, she chooses a plain, unremarkable one nearby. The chubby snail is baffled, but the quick-witted skinny one jumps in to smooth things over.
But it's so...
Perfect! It's perfect! Excellent choice, Your Majesty! Sometimes the biggest one isn't the best one.
The sweet snail presents the chosen bud to the queen, under everyone's watchful eyes. Queen Tara slowly raises the bud above her head, ready to infuse it with life-giving magic. The forest warriors, her elite guards, keep a razor-sharp watch on every shadow, to protect her at all costs. They're hidden deep in the foliage. But right at this critical moment, something feels off. General Ronnie notices a leaf in front of him rotting instantly. He spins around, draws his bow. Because the threat has already arrived. And this is no ordinary arrow. As a patch of bark peels away, dozens of hidden enemies pour out from beneath. They charge like a tidal wave, clearly after Queen Tara herself. At the last second, the forest warriors rally and strike back. Fearless, they fight to the death for their queen. Meanwhile, General Ronnie leads a squad of light cavalry, rushing to her side in seconds. They form a tight ring around her, escorting her to safety. Time is running out. Dragonflies hitch the lotus throne, ready to lift off any second. Enemies flood in from behind like a storm surge. Even the poor snails get caught in the chaos. More foes keep leaping from the treetops. The royal guard fires volley after volley. Melee combat erupts, blade meets blade. Total pandemonium breaks loose. Even the queen's sacred lotus throne is smashed to pieces. In the frenzy, General Ronnie gets knocked into the water. And guess what? Enemies were waiting underwater too. They yank the magic buds off one by one, trying to stop her escape for good. The enemy closes in, and Queen Tara is quickly surrounded. To help the queen escape, every tree in the forest rises to shield her, but there are just too many enemies. They spot her anyway, and charge after her full speed. A gust of wind blows through, shaking loose a shower of leaves. Under every single leaf, a brave warrior lies hidden. They drop from the sky, launching a surprise counterattack. Chaos explodes everywhere. Two raven riders swoop in from the trees. The Dark Lord and his son. They're dead set on capturing the queen this time. Now completely alone, the queen raises her arms, and a massive root surges from the earth beneath her. But more enemies block her path ahead. Luckily, a tiny dandelion pops up just in time, only for waves of foes to swarm in again. The queen orders the cavalry to take the little girl and run, while she draws the enemy's attention herself. To aid her escape, every creature and plant in the forest pitches in. She leaps from branch to branch, scaling upward in seconds, then launches herself into the air. General Ronnie arrives just in time to catch her. But before they can breathe easy, an arrow whizzes past their heads. It's the Dark Lord and his son, back for round 2. They attack in rapid succession, but General Ronnie isn't playing defense. He snatches an incoming arrow and fires it right back, hitting the Dark Lord's son square in the chest. Desperate to save his son, the Dark Lord abandons the chase. They think they're safe. But then, the Dark Lord's final shot strikes the queen. Thunder cracks. Lightning splits the sky. The entire forest seems to lose its light. This surreal moment is witnessed by a human girl passing by. Stunned, she can't believe her eyes. Kneeling down to stare at the fairy no bigger than her fingertip. Above, the great trees stretch their branches, forming a living canopy over the wounded queen. The queen is fading fast. To fulfill her duty, she channels her last magic into the flower bud. The bud floats gently upward, and lands softly in the girl's palm. Then, something impossible happens. The bud pulses with immense power, lifting the girl into a spinning vortex of light. When she touches down again, she's shrunk to the size of a fairy, and her own magical adventure is about to begin. With her dying breath, she entrusts the girl with the flower bud, the fate of the entire forest resting in her hands. Just then, the fairy guard arrives on the scene, overwhelmed by grief and guilt. General Ronnie blames himself for the queen's death. Following the queen's final order, Mary must deliver the bud to Nim, the royal advisor. So General Ronnie escorts Mary to the Moon Temple. Along the way, she meets Prince Nod, the charming fairy prince. But they don't get far before witnessing something horrifying. Corrupted minions are rotting entire swaths of the forest. The Dark Lord, seeking revenge for his son, has put a massive bounty on the bud's location. If the bud is corrupted, the whole forest will become a wasteland of decay. The group finally reaches the Moon Temple, but panic grips the fairies as the forest withers around them. Mary hands the bud to advisor Nim, and breaks the news: the queen is gone. But there's no time to mourn. They rush down to the underground library of lore. It holds all the queen's wisdom, and every secret of the forest. One scroll reads, "Keep the bud moist at all times. When the moon reaches its peak, the bud will bloom in moonlight, and choose a new queen. If the moonlight vanishes, the bud will wither and die, and the forest will fall into eternal darkness." Mary asks Nim to magically turn her back to human size, so she can go home, but Nim admits she has no magic powers. Only when the bud blooms and crowns a new queen can Mary be restored. Tonight is the full moon. A new queen will rise. Suddenly, the moon temple shakes violently. The floor explodes open. The Dark Lord himself crashes in to steal the bud. Spotting the bud clutched by the little snail, he swipes it in one motion and vanishes down a mouse hole with it. General Ronnie gives chase immediately, but he's just too slow. Advisor Nim hatches a plan, disguise themselves as corrupted minions, and sneak into the Blightwood to steal the bud back. So Mary leads Ronnie and Prince Nod back to her house to grab some fake armor. She glances at her dad, obsessed with studying fairies, and feels a pang of guilt. Suddenly, the family dog spots the tiny intruders and alerts Mary's dad. He slaps on his giant magnifying visor and revs up his vacuum cleaner like a weapon. After a chaotic scuffle, Mary gets sucked up and trapped in a glass jar, but when he takes off his helmet for a closer look, he realizes it's his own daughter. He screams and passes out cold. The girl kisses her dad's forehead, a quiet goodbye before she leaves. With the corrupted minion armor in hand, she's ready to team up with the fairies and save the forest. Disguised as enemies, the trio sneaks into the Dark Lord's Blightwood. At the edge of the abyss, they peek over. Thousands of corrupted minions swarm below. General Ronnie volunteers to draw their fire, while Mary and Nod sneak in to steal back the bud. Without another word, he leaps into the pit. The minions spot the intruder and surge toward him like a black tide. Mary seizes the moment, grabs the two snails and the bud, but the second they turn to escape, a guard notices the bud's gone. He looks up, just as they scramble up the cliffside. The minions give chase instantly. A brutal close-quarters brawl erupts. After a flurry of kicks and punches, Prince Nod boots one right off the ledge, but the Dark Lord sees it all. He roars in fury, and every last corrupted soldier swarms out. The Dark Lord races to the summit first, with General Ronnie hot on his heels, to buy Mary time to escape with the bud. Ronnie tackles the Dark Lord, and they both plummet. Thousands of minions swarm Ronnie in seconds. He's captured. For the greater good, Mary flees with the bud. She returns to the Moon Temple, the last hope of the fairy folk. Advisor Nim places the bud onto the central moonstone disk, where it soaks in lunar and solar energy. The petals begin to unfurl. Hope fills the air. Then, the moonlight flickers. The Dark Lord's bat army has taken flight, swarming the temple entrance to block the moonlight. The Dark Lord rallies every last minion, and the sky goes pitch black. The bud starts wilting instantly. Prince Nod leads a desperate charge into the enemy lines, but there are just too many bats. The bud is fading fast, so Mary hops on a hummingbird and zooms home. She yells at her dad through the security monitor, begging for his help. Just then, a bat soldier swoops in after her. Mary bolts in panic, but the family dog pounces just in time, saving her. Dad straps on his gear and joins the fight. Meanwhile, the Dark Lord storms the Moon Temple, swatting aside the fairy guards with ease. Just as he reaches for the dying bud, General Ronnie crashes in out of nowhere. They clash in a furious duel. Prince Nod leaps in to back him up. Mary races back with her dad in tow, dives into his pocket, grabs his phone, and pulls up a bat frequency sound file. The sonic pulse blasts, and every bat zips toward the noise. They swarm Dad in droves, but the sky clears, and moonlight floods in. The bud drinks in the light, and explodes into full bloom. The Dark Lord tried one last desperate move, but General Ronnie shoved him right off the ledge. He was instantly swallowed by the great tree, and turned into fertilizer. The bud radiates pure, golden light, and life surges back through every leaf and vine. In the temple, the blooming bud floats gently, choosing Little Lotus as the new queen, who instantly lifts Mary's curse. And just like that, Mary is human again, back in her world for good.